No apologies.
Correct, I can confirm everybody's present. No apologies this morning.
Thank you. As we're in the council hall, just remind members this meeting will be recorded unless you think any differently. Okay. Right, we have an appeal, local review body, appeal against the Craigsview caravan park and adjacent vacant land at Annan Road, Dumfries, refusal of planning permission for erection of Class 1 retail food store, including formation of new access, car parking and associated landscaping.
Just to say that this is the reconvene meeting from the 15th of August 2012, which met in December, convening again today.
Okay. We've had the we've had the site visit. We've seen the evidence. Are you happy, members, that we've got enough information to continue with this?
I would say we have, Chair. I would agree that we have.
Okay, thank you. Right, what we have to make a decision one way or another today. Then members got any questions they wish to ask or anything they wish to discuss at this stage? Councillor Gilroy.
Well, you know, we've been at this for quite a time, but we did need to get the legal and planning advice that we asked early on. And I think we can take from that the sequential test has been carried out correctly. I'd just like to confirm that with our planning advisor.
Thank you, Chair. Just to confirm, there was obviously additional information provided relative to the papers that were distributed in August. That included an email from Sandy Telfer with a revised legal opinion, an email from Mr Hargest with a letter and statement responding to Sandy Telfer's legal opinion, an email from Keith Hargest as well querying part of that legal opinion prior to it being revised by Sandy Telfer. So you should have all that information in front of you. I've looked at that myself, and my conclusion is that the advice we are receiving from Mr Telfer is that the applicant did correctly carry out the sequential test in relation to this application, and due to the size of the proposed development at the Broom Road site should not have been considered as part of that sequential test.
Councillor Gilroy.
That's fine, that cleared that up, which is great. Can I just go to the development plan, and it's in the papers at 4.1 and 4.2 particularly, where it says that, you know, we do have to have regard to our development plan, but that also that is unless there are, it says in 4.2, it says that is unless there are material considerations which would indicate that the statutory presumption ought not to be delivered. So what I'm really asking is that we have got our local development plan working at the moment, which I understand came in 2006. Although it was good, the structure plan went way back to 1990 something or other. And now we are in the process of a new local development plan. And I'm led to believe that it would hope that that will be completed hopefully by the end of this year, but if not, within the next 12 months. Therefore, what I'm asking is that a material consideration, well, what weight to that material consideration can we give or should we give to coming to a decision today on where we take advice about the development plan for the Council?
Thank you, Chair. Just to clarify, the development plan as it stands composes of the Dumfries and Galloway structure plan, which was approved December 1999, and the Nithsdale local plan, which was adopted, it was 2006, I think from memory it was October, but certainly in the latter part of 2006. So those documents comprise the development plan for the purposes of this council determining any planning application. You correctly point out, and the advice is in the papers, that decisions must be taken with regard to the development plan and any other material considerations, and decisions should be taken in accordance with those policies, unless, as a decision-making body, you feel material considerations weigh otherwise, and you've obviously got to arrive at a balance between the terms of the development plan and material considerations, which can weigh in favour of a grant of permission or weigh against a grant of permission. So that's entirely correct. The status of the emerging proposed local development plan, which members of the LRB will be familiar with, was that it was considered by the full council meeting on the 28th of November last year. Members were minded to endorse what they saw in that plan. Present position, it is now out to public consultation until the 11th of March this year. After that, the next stage in the process would be, these comments would be taken on board by officers and a report would go again to full council, asking them to either agree with the recommendation put by officers or depart from that. Members would then obviously decide whether or not to modify the plan or endorse the recommendation that's in front of them. The hope at the moment is the emerging LDP would go to examination in autumn time this year, with the hope that it could be finalised by the end of this year. But obviously these timescales are aspirational and anticipated at this point in time. The LDP, it's out to public consultation at the moment, as I've said, so it's fairly early in the process. It hasn't been subjected to any examination yet. There are policies within that LDP that relate to retailing, and particularly in the context of Dumfries. My view on how much weight you should give to that, and the weight you give, is obviously a matter for members of the LRB. It's fairly limited at this stage because the period for consultations has not ended yet. However, you've obviously got to be conscious in arriving at a decision today that there is an LDP process in place. In terms of retail policy within Dumfries, identifies retail capacity for supermarket development of approximately the mid-size. In other words, of a size similar to that you're looking at today. Period for consultation hasn't ended. It doesn't expire until the 11th of March. There's obviously a period for various parties to come forward with proposals for retail development within Dumfries. As far as the process goes, like I say, I wouldn't attach much weight to the policies that are in the LDP at the moment, but you should be conscious that process is in place and there's a defined endpoint to that process.
Thank you. Councillor Gilroy.
Just on that issue, so if we were to grant permission today, for argument's sake, would it prejudice the LDP process that we're in at the moment in any way?
I think at this stage, obviously the plan's out to consultation at the moment. All parties have a deadline of the 11th of March. The likelihood is there will be alternative supermarket sites advanced by third parties relative to that LDP. So at this stage, there is a risk that if you granted permission for this site, this would potentially negate the opportunity for the proper consideration of various proposals for supermarket development as part of the LDP process. And that's bearing in mind the scale of the development you've got proposed is quite substantial relative to the retail capacity that's indicated in the LDP for Dumfries.
Councillor Tuckfield.
Thank you, Chair. I'm very grateful for the officer's advice, and taking everything into consideration, I feel that perhaps this application is premature at this time.
Councillor Neil.
Yeah, Chair, I think I've got to say that I'm feeling along those lines as well, because I think, unfortunately, we are where we are with the new local plan, and the old one is now within 9 months or a year of being out. And this doesn't sit comfortably with me, the fact that we've got the new plan underway and the opportunity for these sites to come in there properly as part of that plan. So if Councillor Tuckfield's moving that this is premature, then I would second her.
Okay. Any other members, anything they wish to say? Councillor McComb.
Could I ask the officer to confirm when the LRP, which is out for consultation, will be adopted?
LDP.
LDP, sorry.
I've spoken to someone within the team that's responsible for advancing the LDP process. We can't say with certainty at the moment. What we can say with certainty at this point in time is there's a consultation that will conclude on the 11th of March. The next step will be to take cognizance of those representations, prepare a report that will be put back to the full council of this committee. It very much depends on whether or not at that meeting members decide to modify the plan that's recommended or whether they endorse the recommendation. The recommendations endorsed, then it would hopefully go to examination in autumn time. And then again, it would obviously depend on how long that examination period took. But it is hoped that the new LDP could become finalised in December this year. That's the best indication I've got from speaking to the relevant parties within the council.
Is it hoped to bring it to a full council in this first half of this calendar year?
I don't know. I've got that as part of the sequence of the process, but I couldn't give an anticipated date for that, unfortunately.
Okay, we have a motion. Have we any amendment? Anyone otherwise minded? Okay. Clear.
Thank you. Confirm then that the local review body are varying the decision reached by the appointed officer and that they are refusing planning permission for the erection of a Class 1 retail food store, including formation of new access car park, associated landscaping at Craigsview Caravan Park and adjacent vacant land, Annan Road, Dumfries, on the grounds of prematurity in relation to the developing local development.
Is that correct, members? Is that the wording you wish in this? Premature application due to the fact that the local development plan is in process. Okay. I have no further business, members. Thank you very much.